Oh, yeah.
Whenever we're ready. Are you ready, everybody?
Sorry.
Are you quite done?
Yes, I'm dead. I'm sorry.
Hello,
Oh, yeah.
everybody. Oh, gosh. Curses. Curses.
Swing and a miss. Swing and a miss.
It's fine already. We're ready to start recording.
Seriously.
Hello, everybody.
What was
Welcome.
that? Oh, dear, it's going to be one of
Absolute
those
rat.
games, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Critically Average Adventures, and this section of the 5e world we call the Fragments. It's a D&D 5e campaign I'm playing with my friends, and these are my friends. And we're in glorious HD.
It's
You
a bit
will.
scary being
You can
in
see
HD.
all of our paws, thanks to lovely John providing us with a new webcam.
I know.
We are coming into the story in Mordensow after the fact of them saving the town from being burnt to a crisp, being plagued by the ever mean Kenku, known as Tacton or the White Dove. And basically they've done pretty well, but they needed some more information.
Yes.
And our resident Morden Salian recommended they speak to someone they knew, that they learnt not their trade as a cobbler,
They're tricks.
but their techniques. An individual by the name of Malus Dokar, and you'd gone to his place and persuaded your way inside, and he'd invited you in.
With pastries and wine.
Yeah. So you're led through this building. The wheelchair in front of you that he resides in, he propels along with strong hands, and you can see that they're old hands where the knuckles are swollen with age as he wheels it down a corridor. There are fine carpets and there are paintings upon the wall that represent all different works of style and composition, collector's pieces, definitely, of a high caliber, high class. And he gets to an area and the front of the chair hits the door and it swings open, and you're presented with a room with low candles in glass bowls on top of brass stands that flicker at the sides of the room. And in the centre is a long table, a dining table of sorts, you might assume. There are benches either side, and at the head of the table there is a space where a chair would be, but this person being wheelchair bound doesn't seem the need for having the chair. The chair is ornate in itself and grand enough for it to be its very own head of the table. And you were gestured to the benches either side of the table to sit. And each of you, as you pull out those benches, notice that there was a fine layer of dust upon them. And when you move them away on the floor, you see that they leave well-polished marks around a duller exterior. They haven't been shifted for some time. No one's sat here for a long time, if ever at all. He says, there were 5 of us that went over. And he moves to a cabinet, and he opens it up and takes out a small chest, puts on his lap and wheels himself to the table. We sought wealth. If fame and glory came with that, then what would be would be. It was greed that drove us most. The promise of a spoils unnumbered, the wealth of half a world, to be had but for the fear of old wives' tales and nursery rhymes. You know the song. The smile that hides the fiery moor, keeping secrets locked behind closed teeth till unlocks the door. The sky did fall and things did crawl, black the other side of the ball. Charred and ashen warped things of a peculiar fashion. Hold them back with powers we did, but still they sneaked and slid. Go to bed, young ones, and shut those eyes tight, for nothing is more frightful than that fire burning in the forever night. Perchance, do you remember the rest of the rhyme? No, and why should you? Very rarely is the rest ever recited. And what do you young adventurers want to know of scary ghost stories and tales of boogeymen to scare away wayward children? If only we'd heeded the message hidden within the lines. If only the full rhyme remained intact. Even then I don't know if we would have believed it. The full and correct rhyme goes: once upon the forever green blue, a happy people dwelt, with nought but petty wars to fight between them and themselves. Dreamt of a better place, so to the stars they peered, unfolding mystery upon mystery revealed. Stare too long into the sky and sure as likely you'll catch the eyes of something looking back. In the darkness a great power was found, and they wished it theirs, and plans were forged to make it earth-bound. The power broke upon the virgin surface and tore asunder with malign purpose. They could not contain the power they had drawn, and it cast black the other side of the ball. It lay broken, forgotten, but stories are hard to silence, and into legend fell the tale of celestial violence. That which is broken still longs to be healed, but for fear of the unknown, all the legend's lips were sealed. And then we continue to your old rhyme. Now the smile hides the fiery moor, keeping secrets locked behind closed doors, till unlocked is the door. There you go. He pulls from the chest, as he opens this large lid, ornate goblets, donk, and puts them down on the table in front of you. Donk, donk. They're heavy, they're golden, there are gems round the rim, there are gems round the base and up the stem. And they glint in the low lamplight that skirts the edges of the room, as if even the light were too scared to come close to hear the tale. He turns to a cabinet filled with bottles and grabs one from the shelf and starts to uncork it. And again you see those gnarled hands, swollen with the torment of a life of adventure and hardship. You see the thread veins in his nose now, of someone who drinks to forget. He turns to you and starts filling your goblets. The sleds were laden as we began out across the ice. A few days in, and the monks at Zimrica came and met us halfway from Mordensaal to tell us not to go, don't tempt fate. But fate had tempted us with rich promise, and we were blind to see what true bargain it offered. They became violent on their intent, even with one of their own with us. Fools, we thought, They fought hard, but in the end it was their blood that stained the snow red. What's a few monks and their pious words? Their worried faces could not be seen or heard by senses muted of rich promise of riches. There are hundreds of them we knew, the monks, all burying deep the dead of Frohast in their fortress monastery in the tombs beneath. On we went, at haste, to Fallview, the tower upon the edge. None of us had been there, but we'd all heard the tales, the end of the world. I saw it, and it's just as they say. The earth drops away, sheer and forever, or so it seems. Fallview used to have paths that led into the blackness. But time not only heals but forgets, and after a few days' travel down there was no path, just blades of black rock, shards of cold ice that covered everything. The horizon above us we could see light of the sun as it peeked over jagged edges of cliffs, but none of that shined down here. Not really. Just gentle starlight. Darker and colder it became, and strange beasts assaulted us, and we hacked their deformities to pieces, cold skin and eyes that glinted like cats. And you wouldn't believe me probably when I tell you this, but we came upon villages and towns of all manner of dwellings in the dark. Gibbering hovels filled with twisted families of gaunt things. They were afraid of us at first, but they became more amicable if we were so. We traded and even ran errands. Some were easy for us, the errands that we ran, with the skills that we had from the light side. These lives kept going in the dark. They lived there and never strayed far up, not to the light, or towards the ruddy horizon that we were about to come across. They kept to the dark, unseen and unheard. They lived out their foul little lives. We crossed through the darkness for days unnumbered. We could not tell the days. Then a new strange dawn accosted us, our vision. Or so it seemed, a forever dawn. It sat upon the horizon and glowed red, orange and pink. The very clouds that clung here were stained with this rakish palette. Undulating clouds were sent out from that distant line of cragged peaks. Days more we travelled, and we began to feel it then, something we had long missed. The ambient heat in the air. But that small pleasure was not long to be had, for we saw no real sun, and upon making our way through the fanged ridges that had once been our horizon, we were presented with a vista that boggled the mind. Fire and smoke and black and charred rock. There was lava flowing in all its terrible beauty, forming and failing in terrible cycles of alchemical mathematics. Violent storms whisked overhead as heat whipped vapours into turgid eddies of sulphurous air. Yet even here there were things that lived. Even in this tormented landscape, life found a way. Things moved, ate and defecated, and we were the freshest morsel on the menu, a rare delicacy. We turned back here, pursued by things of planes that should not exist here in the material, weapons of fire, creatures of pure fire and stone and crystal. I was gravely wounded, but made my way back here, and even just the spoils I had left, leaving in haste, were enough for a lifetime's dreams to be fulfilled. And so I did. Every whim and every fantasy and indulgence. And now, this is where you find me. A cripple, surrounded by gaudy trinkets and 1,000 tattered memories. And that's my tale.
And a fine tale it is. It's best in modern style, I dare say.
I've heard some, but mine, as I lived it, even though I lived it, like I said, time helps you forget. Sometimes it doesn't seem like me that saw those things. And what can I do for you, fine adventurers, then? With what information I might have gleaned in my years.
We want to know what the more was.
The more.
What do they worship? They're obsessed with fire.
I believe the more references the ring of mountains that we pass through. That's the teeth. But when you speak of a mouth or a moor,
why are they feeding it riches?
feeding it riches.
Yeah. We keep coming across weirdos and sort of strange. Well, we've had fish people, we've had mutant priests that turn into tentacle monsters.
Wasn't there a dwarf? A female
And
dwarf?
they seem to be sort of taking sort of treasures and riches and chucking them into sort of either feeding them into the sea or into lava, or they're feeding something because there is a mirror that sees us, and there's sort of, it doesn't look very happy every time we turn up and fuck up its plans.
Yeah. Wasn't there the dwarf in the tunnels that was throwing bodies into a fiery pit? That was where we got the first.
That was where you found your very first medallion, very second episode, first episode of the Fragments.
See, I can remember shit.
A year ago, there was a Durga, I think it was actually, piling bodies into a pit that seemed like it went down to the, well, down. You were deep in a cavern.
Yeah. See, I remember that.
And the
'Cause
ash
it's like,
was
you were
silting
saying riches, but then I remembered
bodies or something.
bodies getting.
It's I think it's what people consider riches, because
Yeah.
like the fish people weren't throwing in the same stuff as the priesty person.
No.
They're not just chucking sort of gold or whatever or gems in there.
Yeah.
Although I think some actually are.
Values. Think what they value.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just quickly, could you pass me my notebook? Sorry, I didn't want to lean across you.
Are they trying to heal it? Wake it up?
I'm pretty sure it's awake.
No, maybe. But not healed.
The poem says,
If it fell from the sky by these people studying the stars who summoned it to Earth and crashed, if it lies at the bottom of the great pit, the great edge of the world, and sits in its fiery larder, which probably is its blood and its healing, its servants may actually be trying to heal it, bring it back to health. It whispers to them, talks to them.
It also has a lot of reach.
But if you've lived in the stars, I can talk to minds a mile away. That's not hard.
hold on, have you ever, just a second.
Of course.
And he goes out of the room and you're left alone.
Oh. Our eyes instantly turn and look around all the royals and witches and go, what do you miss that? What do you miss that?
You're welcome to try something.
I became his apprentice because I failed. This time he might not. I may not be so lucky.
You might be better now,
I might be. He might be better too.
but you might have to roll a dice.
John touching dice. It's about as
Double
bad
digits,
as
I'm happy,
me
you know?
touching dice.
Wait until we get to level 11, and then you get a much easier ride of it as a rogue.
I do absolutely. Yeah, I can still roll ones but it's much of season ones though.
No, you don't. You don't see him as one.
Yeah, I know. True.
They're awesome ability.
A moment later, he comes back in, and he has, like, in his lap, like a metal orb made of cast, like iron, and it's thick. It is incredibly well built.
If you hold that, do you look at places somewhere else?
This is no scrying orb. This is a safe. And he reaches into his top and pulls out this elaborate looking key. And then reaches down to his shoe buckle and connects another piece. Locks it into place. And turns the ball in such a way and thumbs one of the rivets, and it reveals another rivet is false and slides away. And he takes this great long key and slides it in and clicks, and you hear the whirring inside like clockwork, and the top opens up, and immediately the air in the room goes cold. He says, "You seen one of these before?" Killian, you recognise it instantly.
What is it?
It's pink
Pink
crystal.
crystal?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Which is probably Killian says. You recognise when he says, "Oh, for fuck's sake." I take that as a yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
You've come across these before then, Dragonborn?
Someone stole mine.
You had one of these?
Yeah.
We've still got
He
one of
licked
them.
it.
Very little.
Sorry, say again, Jackson?
We've still got one. It's very little though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You have one? About your person?
Yeah.
Have you noticed? He shuts it quick and locks it. Any unwarranted attention you might have been receiving?
No, we
Must
pick up a
have
lot
been.
of people.
Since they turned up in the city, it's been pretty much 24/7 adventure.
Yeah.
I keep mine here.
Noted.
This is to protect what it sends out.
Yeah, but yours is bigger than mine.
Size isn't everything.
Speak for itself.
It doesn't matter how small or one you have. They're drawn to it.
What are?
Is that from the?
Hmm?
Is that from the pit?
This,
Oh.
mine, yes. From beyond Fallview.
We were going to head to the Shardfall to have a look because apparently there's a lot of it there.
Aye. That place is strange. Odd.
Have you licked it?
No. I have not licked a crystal. Who does that?
You should.
Pointing.
Oh, do tell. And he sits down. Maybe it's time for your tale. What happened, Dragonborn, when you licked this?
I went to space, saw really weird things, and then woke up.
Oh. And you're encouraging me to do the same thing?
Yeah, it was great.
I don't think so, Dragonborn.
Why not? The one I licked was bigger than that. That one won't do that much damage.
You're an odd sort.
And I was going, meh, and pull a croissant out of my pocket.
The mutated priest that we got our first crystal from was farming them under his church.
Was watting them?
He was farming them.
Growing them.
Farming
He was
them.
growing them in his basement.
Mm-hmm. I still had his tentacle, but then it started to smell funny.
Sorry, this is getting very confusing. A priest with a tentacle.
Yeah.
No, when we killed him, he sort of got back up as a weird tentacle monster.
Oh, I see. And you think you're not drawing untoward attention to yourselves?
Oh, we definitely pissed off whatever it is. But
we've
we're
been-
hoping you can tell us more about it so we can just go and fuck it up and it will leave us alone.
We've been pissing people off for...
I don't know what it is. I didn't get that close. We got past the ring of mountains and saw all manner of crazy shit that tried to kill and eat us.
Mm-hmm.
And then we fucking ran. That's it.
Mm.
And he pulls back the thing on his legs and he shows you
Mhm.
what's there. And he's nothing below the knee, nothing below the hip, pretty much here
Yeah.
on the other leg. And it's just like, this is what it means.
I'm looking at Killian and wondering why suddenly the girl just laughing his
No.
ass off.
I can't say what else can
We were hardened adventurers,
We
so
need
as
a
us
beat.
5. Only 3 made it back.
I was going to say, how did you run there?
I didn't. I was carried.
Oh.
Some good people.
It just got me, sorry. I was like, I can't. That's bad. So
Good.
there were 5 of them.
5 went over.
Okay.
These cultists, this cult of the Moor, whatever they're worshipping, they're doing a great deal of harm to not just Mordenstyle, but everywhere. These fine folks have been travelled from one end of the country down to here.
What was it?
They
up?
found them everywhere.
You travelled down from the you kind of went up a bit and then you travelled down the coast
Oh.
because the boat was sailing up because you were being sold as slaves.
Isn't it on the main continent that we've kind of gone from about 3 o'clock down to 6 o'clock and then over the
Yeah.
bridge?
Yeah, that's it.
Just trying to work out where the hell we've been. So-
Yeah, you got on the boat. You were on the boat heading out from the Reformist Church. That's where Charlie was picked up.
Mm.
But yeah, we basically
Hector Island.
we've covered about a quarter of the coastline of the
Yeah.
main continent,
That's it.
Toby, get on your bed.
and the tribe mates of mine have come a lot further from. Well, they've come from the dark side.
They've gone near on the dark side. They're up near the top of Canoes,
Mm.
which is the far western continent of the map of. One's got this one here.
Nonetheless, someone has to stop them. But we do need to know what they're doing. I mean,
Well-
what's their purpose?
Or some people have to stop them.
Well, we're people.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you say you come from, half-orc?
The cold north. I am of the Cold Raven clan.
No fucking way. Do you know of an elder called Gruken?
Do I?
Yeah.
Wait, do I?
like a recluse living in
Elder Rooken.
Gruken. Gruken. Just Gruken. Just one word.
Okay.
He is an elder. He is an elder orc. Kind of rumoured to live in the mountains. Seen rarely. Keeps himself to himself. A strong martial individual. But returned to his homes, or near his homelands, after much adventuring.
I've heard the name. I've never met them.
He was with us. He made it back. He carried me most of the way. Tied me to his chest so I could still... Tied me to his back so I could still fight anything that came behind. There was myself that made it back. And Raylaya Lytton. I know that name.
God, I forgot Charlie was there. Charlie's been quiet.
I was spellbound by the story. Such a magnificent storyteller, don't you think? No?
You asshole.
Kill Charlie.
You what? What did you say?
I said, and Killian kills Charlie.
With the croissant.
In the ear.
Ray Laya is one of the high members of on Heptar Island. And they were a survivor of your party? Aye, that's right.
Shall we add him to the next speed test?
I'm not going to add any. Suddenly Julian turns up. Hello!
So it's just what you were doing the two voices. I was like, oh, it's going to get hard in a minute. Someone else is going to burst through the door.
Lawrence Godsfield.
Oh gosh, no.
We lost Piggum and Lawrence on the way. They didn't make it back. Wouldn't they?
That would be an interesting turn of events. So, wait, I'm just out of character.
Yes,
quickly.
please.
So-
You can ask your DM questions. That's absolutely fine to do.
Jax knows one of them, obviously Erwin knows him, Charlie knows the other one.
Yes.
So the three of them all know, well, the three of them know one of, like,
Know the names.
know
yeah.
the names of the survivors of this.
Hero group.
Adventuring party.
Hero group.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your assumption, your
So
deductions and
That's how it is.
assimilation of the information is correct. Yeah.
You're using way too big of words for me to
You know
handle.
what's going on,
I
mate.
know what shit's happening. Alright, cool. Yeah, I am out of it today. Sorry, guys.
What would you like to do with this information you gain? If you would like to ask more questions, you may do. You can inquire further. You can maybe make some theories of your own.
How much bigger was his pink gem than the one we have?
So the one you have is a small piece.
Yeah, we've got the little piece. Yeah,
The one that Killian had before was like this.
yeah.
This was kind of like more circular, like a piece of like amethyst, like this, like almost like a ball, maybe double in width, maybe double the size.
All the same quantity.
This,
I've only seen a fragment in that chunk. So
yeah. So you would look at the two, and without closer inspection, I'm going to say you
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to tell the
same colour though.
purity. Yeah, exactly the same, and the feeling that you guys have experienced before of being near them,
yeah.
that cooling, that strange
Sure.
coldness that is not like a crisp wind or a snowy storm, but it is the complete absence of heat.
We borrow your gem ball thing.
Borrow this. What
Yeah.
for?
Bait.
Oh,
You said they're attracted to it,
hey, they are.
so we let it, and we set up a trap, and we grab whoever turns up to sniff around it.
And where?
Careful, Master Jackson. You know the dove is attracted to the Moor's power. They have bribed him with it.
Has anyone checked to see if the dove is still alive?
No, obviously not. Well, I haven't personally.
Because
I-
we
So you're going with one of the faces in the mirrors was the dove, or at least white plumaged Arakar, at least.
Kinku. Yeah.
Kinku. Yes. So you think the dove may be dead and they're just using his physical form?
Yeah.
Possible.
If I could change myself to look like anyone I wanted to, and he was in power, and I wanted power, I'd bash him over the head, stick him in a bucket somewhere, and look like them. I've instantly got power.
Well, you've instantly got his face, but not his knowledge. You need more than just his facial features. I mean, you need his brain, you need his mind, you need his facts, his figures, his... Why is the GM laughing so hard? It's beginning to be disturbing.
No,
it was
just put him in a bucket.
It was Jack saying I'll bash him over the head. Put him in a bucket.
He's a half orc. Literally, find something.
No,
bucket.
sorry, it just broke us for a second.
Fold it up, stuff in there. So.
It was a bash him over the head and stuff him in a bucket. It was just like, what?
Can I go off? I'm a bit warm.
No, I'm
Can
freezing.
you turn it down a fragment? So he seems to be willing to entertain you for a bit longer, but you can see he's restless and not used to company, folks.
Especially companies that causes trouble.
Yeah, especially our company.
He's now just looking at exits and windows and
He
it's going to
says-
explode any moment.
I like this city. Erwin has helped me like this city more. So, if you conceive at least this little piece here, and he passes to you, Jackson, this kind of heavy chest, and he
and the keys.
and he shows you how the key goes together, like this.
I'm going to point that at Erwin so he can work that.
Erwin, like this. Keep the two parts separate. They're drawn to it. There's some power that these have. There's something that they want about these.
The key?
The crystals, Erwin.
Okay, yes.
Are we opening the box at the moment?
It's up.
Is where he's showing us how to open it?
No, he's just showing you how the key clicks together and comes apart. Keep the two pieces of the key
Brilliant.
separate.
Is it worth putting your bit in there as well?
Is there room in there for it?
Yeah, there's enough room for like the small fragment that you have inside
Okay,
the
yeah.
padded thing.
I didn't know if there was room, so yes, we will put it in there.
Give it a go, Erwin. He passes you the key, two pieces of the key.
Okay, I will put the key together. I'm a smart man. I should be able to figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm not rolling.
It's not.
I love that I'm a smart man. I should be able to figure it out.
It's not a hard thing for your nimble, tiny fingers to do.
Yep.
And you look at the craftsmanship in this,
It's beautiful.
and it is intricate and fine, and it is beautiful. Exactly.
Yeah.
And even though the item that it fits is solid, heavy, brutal in its construction, the artistry of it is gorgeous in its practicality and its near on seeming indestructibility.
Okay. So does he show us the point where you have to rub it to make the little bit?
Yeah,
move?
he will show you exactly how to use this thing
I'm here,
perfectly.
baby, here,
I know.
baby.
How heavy is it?
Oh, how much does it weigh? It is heavy. Otherwise,
Question. How much you have to rescue Erwin, who's now trapped underneath it, going?
yeah,
That's what I was asking. How
I
heavy is it?
I was holding it for you. I was
Oh.
just,
Oh,
yeah. I
I'm going
just
to say
wasn't.
it weighs. How many bags of sugar am I thinking? Like 10 bags of sugar heavy. This is quite a heavy thing.
So
Blooming.
10 kilograms.
10 kilo, yeah. Well, I can't do that in pounds in my head. That's why I was saying.
Yeah.
Give it.
Half a bag of flour.
Okay.
Of industrial sized flour.
Blooming that.
The same weight as a large watermelon.
Yeah, but a large watermelon over here is a different weight to it. Is a
That's
different
what I'm
size to a
saying.
large
That's why I
watermelon
said
over in America.
Because it's indeterminate. How long's a ball of string?
Large watermelon.
Large
Twice the length
watermelon.
of possible.
The answer is large watermelon to that question. How long is a ball of string?
Ball of
Swing.
swing.
A ball of swing. Swing.
Swing. Pass me
and
the
it shows you how to use it,
swing.
and you open it, and again that cold effect happens.
Yeah.
Do you drop your little crystal in?
Yeah, I kind of...
What?
It's in a little container thing, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. You put it in a little.
Yeah, it's like... I undo the little container and I kind of just drop it.
And a curious thing happens.
Oh, shit.
He goes boom.
No. It drops towards it.
Oh my god, does it like envelop it and... Oh.
Let him finish.
It falls and then floats,
Oh.
almost orbiting it, and then it aligns itself and reforms onto it.
Well, that's not totally fascinating and disturbing.
Okay.
I closed that rather quickly. Key out.
I'll hand half the checks.
Okay.
Cool. So
I will hand the other half to you. Killian.
half a key.
Okay.
And I shall put the 10 kilogram ball in my bag.
Oh, I put the ball in. I was holding it, so yeah, I've got the ball.
Okay, I'll keep the key. You keep the ball.
Okay.
Oh yeah. that's
Key,
good.
key ball.
Yep. that's a really good idea, keeping it separate. So,
Yeah.
um,
Where should I put the key?
well, he used it as part of his shoe buckle.
What shoe? He doesn't have any legs to wear shoes.
It's up to you.
So I'm really confused as to why he's got shoes on if he doesn't have any legs.
It's like shin buckle here.
You said shoe buckle.
Shoe buckle. I didn't mean shoe buckle. I said shoe buckle, but I didn't mean shoe buckle because he hasn't got any
No.
legs.
Yeah, that's what I was
No,
Maybe
I
the-
totally think he's got shoes. They're just
Yeah,
part
he's
of the
got shoes
wheelchair.
on the
What about
plate
just there?
of the thing, just
Nothing
for like
attached to them.
keeping up appearances.
I,
Like the
I,
mini
I was
quarterback.
thinking more he has thigh highs that are just sort of hollow.
I was thinking that he had like maybe like glued to the foot plates of the wheelchair a pair of shoes, so that when the blanket
Totally,
is over,
totally thigh highs, leather thigh highs.
so
just
when the
looks
blanket is over, it looks like it's there, and then he pulls them away and he's got the legs.
He borrowed my thigh-high boots.
He
didn't
borrowed your thigh-high boots and he's got thigh buckles.
Kidding's got thigh high boots.
No,
You did
I
not
have,
describe you as having thigh high boots.
I have thigh-high boots.
And yeah, where would you like? Well, you can put it about your person. Wherever you decide to do it, you have now a part of the keys. Put it in your inventory.
Oh, you have the top half.
Yeah.
I have the top half.
Oh, so that's on a
Yeah.
thong,
Oh no, okay.
a leather thong.
You
Jesus
could like
Christ!
be cool.
Funny, as a dragon one, you can kind of like, you know, like you get sort of bones through people's nose. You could do it with that.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah, because you're a
We're
nice
looking for the
dragon.
key piece, staring at Kin and going, is that a key piece?
It's like I'm just like, where?
Looking at the end of your nose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's me going cockeyed, like, what are you guys looking at?
I suggest that you plan where you place your trap well.
Yes. Very much so.
There's one more thing, and one for phrases, and I've picked up a few on my time. You may have heard this one. It's an old one. He said about power.
Mm-hmm.
There's a phrase that all power flows to Drosk.
What, Drosk?
Drosk is the capital city on the main continent.
I just thought that meant all money heads in one direction. Capital, I thought.
I don't know. But if you're looking to catch a big fish,
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. It's the center of the universe, so it would make sense if you're going to have some sort of grand temple, or at least want to have knowledge of what's going on in the country. That would be a good place to put it.
and they deal with Drosk and Heptar are not far from each other, relatively speaking, and a lot of the reformed prisoners that I now realise are being sold as slaves are put to work or sourced from in and around Drosk.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, ne'er-do-wells of all sorts were brought to Heptar, and like I said, I don't know if I've told you, Erwin, these know, but I was there. I was there to help with the spiritual well-being of the individuals and help try to guide them, and well, I've got a terrible sense of direction, and one day I walked into a place in the bowels of the castle island, and I think I saw something I shouldn't have seen, or I was in a place I shouldn't be. Next thing I know, I'm strapped to the bowels of a slave ship with this guy.
Hey,
No offense, Killian.
I saved your ass.
You did, and I thank you every day.
Hmm.
And I hope one day to repay that. Sorry, did I get a feather on you?
Yes.
They're friends, really. Honest.
Aye. Bosom pals, I'm sure.
Hmm. Oh, you should have seen when Charles got hurt. Ooh, you couldn't have stopped him.
You have a tale? A fight tale? Tale of a battle? At this, his eyes light up.
Well,
Erwin, have you been doing more than killing rats? And beating up a few odd thugs?
we might have saved the king.
A king?
I'm not
Well.
getting kicked.
And he starts swelling with pride. He's like, a king? Erwin, I know I taught you well, but I didn't think you would be associating with royalty.
We ate at his table. We
His
saved him
chef's
from
amazing.
we freed him from a shadow creature that was infesting his soul. We
Erwin,
just recently saved his Grand Vizier.
Erwin! Erwin,
Yeah.
my boy! Finally! Finally! All the
Kind of
teachings paid off. All those
Oh, yes.
hours trying to summon a knife and you kept summoning a butter knife.
They don't need to hear that.
Can you do it now? I need to put butter on my croissant.
No.
And I'm just like, I like go to slam back on the bench and realise there's no back, so I'm like,
Stop! What?
Make a dexterity saving throw.
no, it's like, I go to lean back and then I'm like, oh, you're no fun.
And he seems, he's well, at least some of my twilight years weren't squandered. The time I spent with you might have actually paid off.
Your teachings literally saved my life more than once, and allow me to save the lives of others more than once.
Yep.
And maybe save more than that.
We finally knew what we were getting into. There's so many bits to this tale, so many fragments. We know little bits. I don't know the whole story from my friends here because they haven't told me everything they've gone through. They've been through so much that half of it's almost forgotten, I imagine.
I tell you who would know a lot. Who keeps the finest records.
Hmm?
But they're a stuck-up bunch.
Go on.
The monks.
Ah, you mean the monks have tried to stop you?
Aye. They
The ones
used
that
to
you-
have a monastery here. For the
Right.
dead. Purely tombs.
Mm.
But that was
Mhm.
lost to the ice
Mm.
many years ago.
It happens.
They still have their fortress monastery in the far, far north,
Wait.
among the fragments.
Whoa.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Back up. The monks with the thing in the ice. Is that the thing that we found that collapsed through underground. When we were in tunnels. Were we in tunnels? Or is that a different area I'm thinking of?
I love this. I love this concept. Like,
We
so
were
much
in
has gone on in the
we were
game.
in tunnels when we were sort of investigating Southgate.
Yeah. Or is there...
There was rock monster things there.
No! Something collapsed through. Or it may be a different game completely. But
I think you're
something
thinking.
collapsed through.
I think you're thinking of Out of the Cold.
No, because I don't.
You
I
listen
purposely
to-
don't
Okay.
listen to Out of the Cold because I know that the two worlds are connected. So I purposely don't listen to
Okay.
them.
I thought you might have been listening.
No.
What about your friend Richard, who like lives next to this heptard place? Because he wants us. Apparently, we've said we're going to pay him by sorting out whatever's going on Heptar, and we haven't been doing it.
That's your dragon that you met that you've ignored.
Oh shit.
By the way.
Forgot about that.
And you know, like dragons tend to live for a while, and they like remember shit.
That you flew on.
Oh yeah.
That
We
you
Where
used
can,
flew
we
to
on.
find,
have-
where can we find him?
That you flew on to defend the
Next.
bridge.
Yeah.
next to Heptar Island, where the Badget and your friend is.
Oh yeah.
In that strait, in between where you would head
Oh.
towards Drosk.
Thinking about it, that does involve boats.
Yeah.
You
exactly.
can go by land.
I didn't think you could get to Heptar Island by land.
Oh no, you could. Well, it's a small. You don't have to travel the whole way there. You could go ice bridge across the plains.
And we've just got this cool magic TARDIS polar bear sled.
Yeah.
So we need to dick around in the snow for a bit.
In other words, Jax doesn't want to get back on a boat.
You're fucking right. They sing.
But... oh yeah, where's our boat at?
Still docked
We
at
left it at
Southgate
Southgate.
Oh shit.
with your crew,
Oh shit.
who are dining at the Prince's Pleasure at the
Oh
moment.
shit. They gonna be too fat to get
Well,
on that
well,
boat.
well, the prince, we're pretty sure he's missing and probably never going to reappear, or at least not in the way he left.
Oh yeah. Oops.
So they're actually dining at Thulf's Pleasure,
Yeah. Oops.
who is. Can we have it? What is he?
A bit weird.
It's a bit weird.
He's a
It's
bit weird.
It was only a little bit weird. It was the prince that was weird.
Yeah, the prince was a bit weird.
Yeah, he's a bit more
Thulf
than a
was-
bit weird.
Definitely had a capital B for the bit.
Yeah, a bit weird. Thulf was only a little bit weird.
Yeah. What would you
I
like
think
to do?
I think Thulf's official description was a bit creepy
Yeah.
in my notes.
Nick Thulf.
A bit creepy.
He was Drow. If you remember.
Yes, the manservant Thulf. He was a bit creepy. See, I've got weird people. I've got creepy people. I've got dodgy guy Dance.
Dodgy Dansk.
Dodgy guy Dance.
Southgate. He's a mate.
Yeah.
He's a mate of yours. Lovely
Yeah,
NPCs.
does he
Oh,
go
an
into the
NPC rich diet for you guys to meet and hang out with.
I do this to John, and I remember NPCs that he forgets.
It's why, like,
Okay.
I make notes, but Matt's notes are just another level, so I'm like, dude, what?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Matt has a tendency to remember everything, even like the completely inconsequential. I made it up on the spot, and I don't expect you to ever go back to it ever again.
But then it's
Tavern owner 10 towns ago who literally just like had a quick tale to tell, and that was it. And they were
Yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, we should go talk to that guy." And I'm going, "Who?"
and yeah, why? And we're like,
Where?
well, he mentioned
Why?
once that he liked goats, and we've got this golden goat, and he might really like this goat. That kind of like.
Yeah.
So yeah, what would you like to do? This guy is.
Well,
starting to
why
feel-
don't we get out of here and like go up to the palace, and Mama Oos will like sort us out some dinner, and like we can talk about it and stuff, and then you can drink the king's booze because like you know he has lots.
Is that an invite for me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I could... Look,
They get to do whatever they want for the most part.
I don't think that I'm one for mixing with the royals.
We tend not
Hi.
to. We spend a lot of time in the kitchen with Mama Oos.
Oh, Royal.
I mean, like, the royals here. I didn't even know. I didn't even get that from you.
So rude.
You just sat there covered in croissants
Yeah.
with the crumbs of.
Do you want to try one? They're really good. No, not
Yeah, actually really good.
I'll have one. You sold it. Hey.
See? Now we can go hang out with the woman that makes them.
Roll a persuasion check.
That's pretty good. Pretty good. I
Can I
do
get
it,
that out?
Oh yeah, persuasion check with advantage. Then yeah, that's
Okay.
an assist.
Right.
Is that good? She is that good.
Assisting with Matt going, this boot!
There's booze! Persuasion. Okay.
Be good at this.
Yeah, should be good. It should be good. Said it. Gonna roll terribly now.
Yeah, I am. Right, it's a +3. Okay.
Ooh.
Oh, 17! How
With
about that?
advantage.
Oh,
Let's see if we can beat it.
no. 17.
7 and a 17. Alright. Alright. It's been a while. I feel they should bring something like... What do you bring? Like...
Really, really random question. How does he smell? Because I've got quite a big snout. So how do you smell?
He smells like he has been in the... He's dusty, musty, like... The clothes are fine, but they've been in places where moths have lived.
Okay.
We'll air him out. It's fine.
I will politely suggest that he has a wash first.
Well, I was gonna get dressed, like proper dressed.
Yeah. Good idea.
What do you think I should take? What could I take as a gift? What do you take a king?
Oh, you don't take a king anything.
We don't. Yeah, we just sort of rock up and at his house and
Okay,
like.
but wait. That's what you do, Jackson, and it works for you really well. Surprisingly so. I mean, I'm expecting you to get hung about 6 times, but you don't. So yay. Do you really? He was a king, and you were trying to impress him.
These
Well,
gauntlets?
They're probably like those.
He's
About
got lots of that stuff.
Yeah, but see,
He doesn't
it's
need
more of a,
it.
it's more of a. It's a gift that represents what you offer him as a subject, or what you know, we don't know what he wants. So it's not like I'm giving something that's going to call to him, you know.
I know what you like. You've been here a long time, and you live in the sort of scummy bit of town.
Not really. Our characters actually
Yeah, he lives in a
Right
better
on the
bit of
edge.
town.
middle class.
Okay.
Understated, his home is deliberately understated.
Because he was looking for info on like what goes on in town, so you could just tell him what's going on.
I don't really leave here.
Okay, so you can't do that then.
No. I've become somewhat recluse. I don't know if you could tell.
Are you a hermit?
Some might use that terminology. I prefer to use eccentric.
He's
I
rich. That's what
like
he
it.
is. He's rich.
I like it. Have a croissant.
Look, they're delicious. I'm gonna try and get her recipe.
Yeah, dude.
The ones from her daughter are better.
Yeah, they
Better
are.
than this.
Yeah, They are.
She's up at Southgate.
Yeah, we stayed there too.
Are you food critics or adventurers?
I
Food
like.
critic, adventurer, Jackson.
Charlie!
Charlie! I like my food. There is nothing wrong with that. I like my food a lot. And I will judge
Depends.
you on your cooking skills.
I think it's you like a lot of food.
Yeah, that too.
Well,
Yeah.
He also casts spells, like mostly one spell, but does it really well.
a dabbler in the arts of the arcane.
More like blows people up with the arcane.
Hey! Only sometimes.
Well, I'd like to see that sometime, maybe. I'm too old for that. Look at me getting all excited. Hey, look, I'm getting a bit. I'll be back.
She wasn't exciting. You should see Jackson's party trick. It's pretty impressive.
I hit things.
He grows big, like big.
And I go. I
Look,
go
tell me on the way. I'm gonna go and get changed, and I'll be back. When you're left alone in the room again.
So,
How's he
Gideon,
put the goblets
Jackson.
away?
No, the goblets are still on the table for you to drink out of. If
Can
you
I
wish the rest of
examine the goblet?
Yeah. What would you like to?
what is it with you and pottery?
I just
I
want to
think
check.
these are gold. I think they're golden gem crusted ones, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just want
It's a
to
container. I must see it.
have a look
Yes. What would you like to ascertain?
and see if there is anything possibly magical about them.
You can make an Arcana check to find that
Ah.
out. Magical goblets.
Magical goblets.
Magical
What
goblets of
everyone
truth.
needs in their life.
Ah.
Jax always tells the truth.
Yeah. No.
19.
These you reach out with your arcane nature, and
They're not edible.
they are not magical.
Okay.
They are mundane, but they are expensive.
Okay.
Mundanely, ruinously expensive.
Yeah, they
I-
are like the most mundane thing that
How-
magically.
Has he poured wine into it?
Yeah, each of you has had a glass pour.
I've sipped it.
A-
Okay. I casually pour mine into Erwin's goblet.
what, without Erwin seeing?
No. I just
Okay.
do it in front of him. I'm like,
Yeah, it's right in my eyes and does it.
Like, thought you were trying to get Erwin drunk.
no, that's
Okay.
I
I got
need,
it to be flowing over.
we've got Charlie drunk, we need to get Erwin drunk. That's our next thing, Jax. We need to get Erwin drunk.
I wasn't drunk. I'd had a few.
Last time Charlie got drunk, he became a daddy.
Yeah, true.
Eggy's there.
Named it yet?
No.
I love that. No.
Now, wasn't Eggy being taken care of? Yeah, Eggy was back at the castle.
Yeah, Eggy's being taken care of. So I would like to look the goblet over, examine it, see if I can figure out exactly what these gemstones are.
Yeah, of course. I'm saying you've had a pretty good look, and with that, I'm going to say that you know that these are going to be worth. The gold is going to be worth 50 gold. Just the gold.
Bloody hell. And
And
what are the
then-
gemstones?
The gems are like garnets. These are probably about 100 each, and there's 4 in the base, 4 in the top.
Bloody hell.
So each is about 850 gold.
Yeah.
They are ridiculously expensive mugs.
Okay, I'll put it back down on
I
the
am
table.
not stealing them. I am not stealing them. I am not stealing them. I am not stealing them.
I put it back down on the table. I'm not going to steal it.
Can you all make perception checks, please?
Sure.
Is he taking a very long time?
It's taking a very long time. Yeah, and 18. So bad.
17.
20!
Comes to you first, Keelan. As you turn the goblet,
I'm actually rolling okay.
something about the way the sound moves through this old building kind of refracts out of the inside of the gold cup of the goblet. And
Is it a musical cup?
no,
Can I look in it?
there's nothing in the cup apart from the space where the wine was.
So why is it making that noise?
It's just the way the sound's
No,
echoing.
it's the sound reflecting out of
It's
it.
refracting out of it, and you put it down, and you hear it out in the corridor, and then when you hear it, and then Jackson, you hear this.
I'm going to sneak over to the door.
Stealth.
Mm-hmm. Stuff. That's more like it. I'd like to see I'm back on form. 16 though.
16. Oh, Charlie heard it too. What on earth is that noise? Oh, Owen's doing his sneaking thing. Everyone.
You can tell. You can tell.
It looks like
so
the
you
zombie that
get to the
used
door.
to-
The door was closed.
No. Does it have a keyhole, or does it have or no keyhole? I'll listen. If it does have a keyhole, I'll look.
You're gonna listen. Sorry, did you say if there's no keyhole? No keyhole. It's
Yeah,
an
get a
internal,
nice close.
internal door. You hear this something approaching.
To the floor quickly for a few seconds and peer under the door.
Thick plush carpet.
I get back up before I get smacked in the head by a door. I will just open the door. I just open the door.
I'm dressed. What do you think?
Oh God, what is he wearing?
What's he dressed as?
He's wearing this long red robe and these beautiful plumed trousers, but they're designed for his body. And on the bottom of where he has been amputated are these beautiful brass legs that hinge
I'm
backwards.
just.
That hinge backwards like this, like you would have seen your fawn friend. Umbra full stank.
Oh yeah.
Digigrade legs.
And dressed. And there's like you can see through the legs. They're just like a scaffold almost. But again, beautifully made.
That's
Much better.
impressive.
Like I said, any whim. I wanted to walk again.
What's? I assume there's a limitation, or you'd be gallivanting around all over the town. I've not seen these before.
Wandering
Amazing.
around with these often attracts unwarranted attentions.
You mean like the pink crystal does?
Aye.
Why don't we give you one of our amulet things?
What's that?
We got it off the orcs from that were in the sewer that stole thingy. It makes you look like the white dove and like human in like scanty stuff and things. You can look like what you want. Charlie's got one, and so's Gillian.
Alright. I'll take one. Like, is that just so we can get there in relatively normal circumstances? I
Pretty
kind of
much.
want to show these off. I don't get a chance to wear them.
Then don't. It's fine. No problem.
You know, when
That's
you're going
just-
out, you might as well do a proper job.
Proper job.
That's impressive. That's a proper job.
We ready then?
Wait, thank you. He puts a thing on, and
A wig.
no, the necklace
Oh,
on.
okay.
Charles hands him the thing.
It's because you went like that. and
Charles
I was like,
hands him
what,
his
a
necklace.
wig?
Here, take mine. The people of Mordenshall don't notice me much. And
I'm looking at Charlie like, what?
it's surprising, Erwin, I know. As verbose as I may seem, people just see a stuffy old cleric.
They are clearly seeing you very wrong. You're not just a stuffy old cleric.
I know that.
That's still
And
important.
he transforms himself into... what would he transform himself into? Oh, this would be
No,
interesting.
Charlie just puffs up. Instant coat.
The Mordenshall nights are cold. He transforms himself. I can be anything in this guy.
Within reason, because it's got
But in your physical form, I think is the term. You can't grow too big or too small or too wide.
it's got the it's only got so many faces it can do, hasn't it?
It's only got so many charges.
Ah.
It remembers what you've done, so you can kind of go back.
Right, okay, that's what it is.
A flesh one. And he transforms himself into a goblinoid, a small goblin figure, a tall goblin.
Yeah.
You might think it might
Goblin.
be a bugbear type creature, but of a genus close to yours, Owen.
Oh,
This is Piggum. He was a good creature. I miss him. Piggum. One of my fellows.
Oh, it was Piggum and
Lawrence. Yeah.
Ah, right, okay. See, I'm getting better at remembering shit.
Yeah.
yeah, it's good.
I'm getting there.
Piggum and Lawrence. They're the ones that got
Piggum and Lawrence.
that they lost.
Yeah.
So you make your way to the castle in the centre.
When we leave his house,
Yes.
what I'm going to look for as we start wandering through town is I will look for a tavern, and like literally as we pass one, I'm going to duck my head in, buy a bottle of like spirits, and then come back out so we can start drinking. You know, basically, I'm going to have a bottle that I can pass around of whatever spirits they've got in the pub that we walk past.
You kind of walk in. The bar's busy.
I'm going to I want that bottle, give it here, and chuck in some money,
Yeah,
and
they go-
you know,
they
and
go-
walk out.
They go, couple of gold. Strong stuff,
Okay.
that.
Yeah. To be honest, after the gold left my hand and the bottle's in it hand, I'm probably just turning around and walking out. You know.
Yeah. Sweet. Have a good night, then.
Gold smacks him in the face. Down there. Grab.
Some people are so rude. Just like Scrooge with the gold.
So rude as he's swinging 3 times the price of the bottle, but very generous.
Yeah.
So they can be as rude as they like.
Grab a
Yeah,
plaque.
so he as he walks, he like there's still the
Yeah,
whirring
I'll get that.
sound because it doesn't cover up the whirring sound. So there's this now like bugbear that whirs and
But
clunks.
yeah, I will randomly start passing a bottle around as we wander back to the castle.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to get some fresh air in these lungs, I tell you.
How does Charlie feel about it?
Is it festival season?
It's getting there. People are coming in.
I just smell that smell of smoke in the air.
That
Oh,
like
that's the town that nearly that's the Underetch burnt down.
Oh, that was what you
Oh.
were telling me about. Oh, yes, you were going to tell me of an adventure, I believe.
Where do you want me to start? I was on the ice, helping out. I was coming home from the ice, helping out the orphanage, as I normally do, and I discovered uh, I was with my little fox friend, and I was cooking as we were resting on the ice, and suddenly this dark, grim shadow loomed over me. I looked up and looked over my shoulder, and there, standing towering before me, was this dragonborn, fine and resplendent in armour, glistening with white scales, fiery eyes. Who proceeded to sit himself. He say hers. I do apologize. Sit himself down, and we discussed a finer point of ham and eggs.
I see.
And all of a sudden, another joined me, a fine feathered fellow.
This is where I come in, Killian.
Knowledgeable and bright, seemingly wanted to apologise for his friend's more abrupt nature. And then a beautiful elven lady joined us. And then an orc. And all of a sudden it seemed that we were having a little bit of a picnic upon the ice.
Aye. Get to the meat, Erwin.
Oh, fine. Well, they needed a guide. They hired me for some gold. It was very nice. I showed them around. They needed to go to the castle. So I showed them where the castle was. But it turns out the king hasn't been seen in some time. So they were going to try and rescue the king. So we broke into the king's castle.
Well, your
I
skills...
unlocked the door, which wasn't that hard. The king has needed to get big better locks. They're very poor. Anyway, we got to the door. We barely survived a spinning, blurry blade contraption that fell from the sky in the grand concourse. You see, the doctor, his physician, had gone a little bit cray-cray, sampling many different medicines to try and save his liege lord, and decided to invest in automatons to defend the king. Many automatons. We battle our way through a veritable army of mechanical creatures.
They weren't very good.
No, they would have been amazing, but they didn't have the mighty Jackson in his mighty hammer of destruction. As it turns out, Jackson here is a master of attacking mechanical creatures.
Smashing him up.
He has a keen eye, a fine sense for exactly where the weak points are. It also helps that he grows 12 foot tall. Anyway, after battling our way through, we made it to a central, what used to be the ballroom, and there we found this large spherical contraption with, ironically, that crystal, powered by that crystal. It shot out beams of power that struck around in a 360-degree arc out of multiple lenses. It was a thing of beauty. Thanks to Jackson's stalwart defense and my nimble feet, I managed to get underneath it, and with my mental suddenly a knife appears in my hand. With my mental powers, thanks to you, my lord, I managed to cut it in, and we managed to rip out its guts and disable the contraption.
It's like he's been swinging on the bottle every time you've come to a crescendo in your story, and he's already starting to sway a little. You can see even through the disguise, the cheeks are ruddying a little bit. He's like, that is more like it. That's what I wanted you to use your powers for. And I like how you've not lost your roots there, Owen. Breaking in. That's how we met. Breaking and entering.
Yeah. You have better traps.
I know.
Better locks.
Oh, more paranoia, maybe. I mean, I'm not. It's not a night. I don't know. I've been in that house a while. Anyway, let's get to your king. And you proceed up the streets.
We made our way finally through the throne room to the private quarters of the king, and there we found him, in a torpid-like state, clammy skin, although a almost wistful smile on his face. The dust in the room had said that he had been there for some time, and yet, with Killian's investigative sleuthing and the pulling out of the guts of the machine downstairs, that tiny fragment, we managed to draw out from the king using. I managed to contact his mind, and saw that he was locked in a dream. We managed to, with the gem, draw out this foul black creature from the spirit. This thing was monstrous and sorcerous. Managed to conjure up many a barrier and phantasmal creation to guide and block, to subjugate and block us. Yet we were too wily, too quick, too fast for it. We managed to dissipate it, I think is a better way of putting it. Not quite sure. We managed to ruin its day, essentially. Destroy it in many forms, though I fear it may come back. I'm not sure how. A thing of ethereal power never really die. Nonetheless, we did find a physician cowering under the king's bed. We managed to save both. The king was awake once again from his deep and long slumber. The king rewarded us with a fine and sumptuous meal, thanked us personally for our efforts. We were about to find out what was going on, and then news came that his vizier, his grand advisor, had gone missing. We suspected foul play. We investigated his house and found that he had better locks than anybody we've ever met. He's really paranoid. That man's paranoid. Nonetheless, somebody had flown to his window, melted a window out of its frame by cutting out the stone and levitating an unconscious man out into the streets and towards the underedge. Through many a hardship and many a blind alley, some of them literally,
And a few brothels.
I was trying to avoid that, but
That Julian fellow was rather nice, though. What?
some people went to brothels. Moving on. So
We all
discuss-
went to brothels.
Not all of us voluntarily.
And that performance in the other one.
Oh yes, the amazing mind controlling one. Yeah, that was brilliant.
They were very good. It wasn't just that, I'm sure. I'd like to see them again sometime. Sorry, Owen, you were saying?
Fine. Anyway, through some sleeping and a chance encounter with a blue creature. Okay, was he another dragonborn?
He was a
No.
Oni.
Oh, a blue demon-like creature who cost us the lives of our animal companions. Although he paid for that with his very life.
He did.
We found that these ne'er-do-wells were also part of the Dove's cadre, but also part of the Moor. We not knocked down a few doors and spoke to a few people, put the fear of death into more than one, until we discovered our way towards the Underreach, where a very helpful drow informed us that we were never going to survive, that we could never find their temple, thus informing us that they had a temple. They really don't lie very well. And
Yeah, they do tend to give away more than they really should, but makes our job easier.
easy.
I think they thought they were going to win. And we defeated them.
It was only a partial loss, so anyway, we managed to find a secret entrance into to the great tunnels on the Underreach. There we discovered lost children, fought burrowing monstrosities that almost ate Charles. Actually, did eat Charles.
I was inside it.
And then so was Killian. And so was Serial for a short period of time.
No, Killian didn't get inside.
I didn't get inside it.
Oh, okay. No, didn't you just scrape its insides out and look for things? No, that was Serial again.
You cut it open. Oh, no, wait a minute. You cut it open.
That was all Serial. Serial went.
Yeah, Sarah
Sarah
went in and
Sarah
burst
went
out
full
from the
technical.
inside. Yeah. Did the whole, like, predator, the alien thing.
We managed to rescue not only one of the young children who had been eaten earlier, but also Charles. Managed to bring him back to life. Unfortunately, our battle caused a commotion that we did not want. And 4 disguised orcs, disguised as drow, of all things, investigated. We made short work of them.
Well, officially, we left one of them alive, and we were going to pick him up on the way back, but we forgot because the tunnel was collapsing and burning down around us. He's probably dead now, though.
And there was legs involved.
We were trying to intimidate them, Killian, and I just thought that, well, if you're going to freak someone out...
Waving their legs at them? Yeah, that'll do it.
Yes, exactly.
Anyway...
I thought it was inspired, Killian.
It was inspired.
By who?
Grim, but
I
inspired.
was following Jackson's lead, really. Got all a bit excited.
We found Lord Leven, rescued him, brought him back to the surface, but they set fire to the tunnels. Well, actually, they set fire to the whole Underreach in retaliation. We still need to investigate where the centre of that fire was. What was the central cause?
And then you came to me.
To be honest, sir, we were running out of ideas. We needed to know more about them all. We needed to know where they come from, where the crystal come from, where any of this ties together. And, sir, you are the greatest adventurer modern Sol has ever had.
Why, thank you, Erwin.
You've seen more. Maybe you've seen them all. Actually, I think you have actually seen them all.
I think I may have been near its teeth.
That's probably more close to comfort than I would ever want to be.
The gullet is where I fear. Your adventures may lead you.
Fun. Joys.
You make your way up to the gates, and you are quarterly led in through the gates into your sort of VIP pass. Your
Don't touch us. No.
Your new guest is asked who they are, and after a brief explanation of possibly information to the king's behest, information that might help, and a kind of royal invitation from the saviours of the town. That's pretty good sort of,
Almost like, don't you know who he is?
Yeah.
What sort of god are you? This is literally the greatest adventure the men who kingdom's ever seen.
Stop simpering. He says as he leaves.
Actually, it's not Sembren, it's just true. I think it is.
Yeah. But he takes it as like he's like almost embarrassed. He's like, come on, Owen. He's had a few, and he's like, come on, these poor guys. They're too young in their face. Look at them, wee pups. You won't know who I am, this old mound.
I will probably pass the bottle to the guards as we leave.
And they go.
You've had enough. Moving on.
They go. They just kind of look at it, and a shield is in front of it, like this. And on that cold,
We shall confiscate this. Certainly, we're going to put it near
this
here.
cold
mix
northern
it up
south
with cheese.
evening, you're led through into the dining room that is near the kitchen area, not to the king's chambers at first.
No, I didn't think so. I didn't expect us to be, to be honest.
And there, hungrily eating at a table, there's a guy in a long mac.
Ah, this will be Lord Evan.
Great big
Oh.
hat. He looks up with a mouthful of food. Alright! It's me! Daniel!
Who?
And that's where we'll take a quick break.
Oh, I know who that is. He's from Esterland.
Oh, so this is.
When you start, Daniel.
So as a player going, do I
Hang
know
on.
him?
I am gonna pull out a weapon because I'm pretty sure he died.
All right, well, we're on a break. Come back, pull out that weapon. It can be hilarious. Hey, it's me, Shing. Oh, do you remember me then?
Yeah, guy at his table, fisherman's jacket. Isn't Daniel?
Yeah. So yeah, he's dead. So like, yeah, I'm gonna pull out a sort of weapon and sort of threaten him with it.
And I'm like,
Puts up his hands.
Gonna poke him with like, I'm not gonna stab him. I'm gonna, but like literally pole arm, sort of, pokey to the chest.
What are you doing?
yeah, good question, Jackson. What are you doing?
This guy died in Esterland when the fish people attacked the town. Like half the town got wiped out. We like really pissed off the fish people, and because they didn't want to come after us, they like attacked the town and killed like lots of people there.
That's not good.
And he died.
I'm looking at Jackson while he's saying this and then turn around to Daniel and I'm like, so who are you?
Alright. Where's Blue Jim?
Blue Jim?
The prince.
Jim.
Oh!
Shake-
Shake. I was like, Blue Jim? What?
Well, that's a neat trick.
What are you doing here?
Wonder what happened to you guys.
Yeah.
We're staying with the prince, the king. Did the prince ever show back up?
No.
I didn't think he would. I think he's dead.
Yeah.
He hasn't shown up.
What a shame.
Thalth's pulling what little of his hair remains out. He's had messages from the king. He's had royal guard leaving his thing, coming here.
Oh no, what a shame.
To be honest, they'd need him here because the guards here are shit.
Yeah, but they've swapped them to the ones at Southgate.
Oh. Yeah.
I'm very confused. What is going on?
So this is Jim. He can look like other people, and he was working with Carla, who was one of the royal guards that got kicked out and moved down with the prince to Southgate.
Mm-hmm.
And they were trying to work out what was going on, and he tried to be the prince, but he wasn't weird enough to be the prince.
He didn't smell like him.
Okay.
Or do stuff or no stuff, and it was a bit odd.
I did my best.
And then we caught
I
him.
do a very good impression.
And then we went and had a chat with Karlath and a load of his mates, and they were seeing about what was going on. But then we've woken up the king, and I'm guessing that helped fix stuff.
Fix probably be a strong word.
Carlath's here.
Yeah.
He's come. He's reunited with his king.
Yeah. So?
Well, I'm not royalty, am I? I'm just a vagabond off the street, so you're just treating me to decent food. And I overheard them talk about some fishing village, so I just made myself look like some fisherman type person. And there was a guy going through getting messages to someone, and just pretend to be a guard, get a little bit of information, and there was someone going to get someone called Daniel from Esterland.
We're going to see Mama Oos with Erwin's mate here, and we're gonna have some food and beer. So you can come with us if you want.
Hey, Mama Oost, she's next door.
Yeah.
Ah, the lady. I need to speak to this wizard of the kitchen.
She is amazing.
What would you like to do? You've got...
I'm staying really confused. Like, everything's just happened in the last 6 seconds.
Can I do an insight check on him to see if...
Inside Jim?
Yeah.
Yeah, go.
Is that okay? Because I don't trust him.
Jim, or just Jim.
No. Oh, it was 8.
You get that same feeling. Since you've met Jim, Jim has been wily, to say the least. And with your background of knowing him, you maybe feel that this time he's got his act together. And, he's been straight with you.
Okay.
Which means you pull you out.
Yeah.
So is Karlath actually chatting to the king, or?
I believe so, yeah. I believe so, yes.
Okay, so...
We should probably go and say hi.
Yeah. Well, we'll go see Mama Oost first. Mama Oost? Mama Oost. I never say her name right. So we'll go see Mama Oost first.
Next door to the kitchen.
And then we go see...
Then we request to see if we can have a meeting with the king. We don't just burst into his chambers. Normally.
It's normally how we do it, but...
Yes, maybe a little bit of protocol, We could
When the
learn
man's
some
least
decorum.
awake. In his own home. Yeah, perhaps.
The guy that... Erwin's mentor called?
Erwin's mentor call is, I forgot it again, Malice? Dallas? Oh, I forgot his name.
Malice.
Malice.
Yeah.
Malus Dokar.
And I said, well, we did promise him Mama Oost's food. So I think we...
Hey, take me to the woman. He's had a fair fill of this bottle. He's a little bit rowdy.
We shall allow the king to be a little busy while we stuff ourselves full of food. And then we shall
You are
try
into
and
the
find
kitchen.
either this person, what was their name?
Jim.
Karlath.
Hmm?
Karlath. He was one of the royal guards.
Cardiff is one of the royal guards. Leader
Yeah.
of the royal
Like the prince, kind of disbanded them when he came over to Southgate, but he took a few of them so he looked like important and stuff.
He basically took the glut of the best guard with him in his paranoia and confusion, took them away, left the as he was acting Prince Regent at the time, took the best guard with him, left a skeleton crew or whatever at the at the main castle in Mornsau. Over the time they've been there, they were the corruptible types. Hence, you've seen the gradual degradation over the town, etc., etc.
He left the shit ones here, took the good ones with him.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. And hence the decline of the town, and hence having to become more of
Be
a
worth looking in on Lord Levin too, see how he's doing, if he's recovered.
That is the important one.
You had something on your arm and it
Because he may have overheard something.
yeah.
So you're going to go into the kitchen,
Yep.
without saying anything. He charges in and gets down to Mama Oost's level and kind of spins her like he's dancing with her. Grabs her and like kind of twirls her underneath, and he says, "Madam," and he drops his disguise and he's got these giant automaton legs, and there's this tiny dwarven chef. She looks down at this marvellous contraption of metal and steel that make his lower
And
body,
smile and eyes.
and she's just like, "My fair lady, you may not be royalty, but you are a bacon queen." And she, even Mama
I'm just there
Oos,
taking notes.
at this, blushes slightly and says, "You are a late gentleman, you are."
Oh God. Shipping them.
Pray tell, what's your name?
Oh.
I am Malice. And yours? I know yours, Mama. You can just call me Mama. I've got a child to attend to. Hold on. You're with Ben? No. Come. And she leads over to the side of the kitchen, and she's penned off a corner,
Oh.
The old Baron.
and she's got strips of meat, and she's dangling them in. And I was like, and she's feeding Eggy down in the corner.
And I just turned to Charlie and I'm like, you need to name that thing. It can't
What's
be
wrong with
egg
Eggy?
anymore.
Why not?
Because it's not an egg.
Have you got a good name? What would you name it? Yeah, sorry.
Baldy?
What? Sorry, Jax. I missed that.
You didn't miss much.
Baldy.
Baldy.
Wait.
Bad.
What would you call an owl bear? An orphan cub? Owen.
What would I call it now?
Anybody.
What would I call it? Dangerous. That's what I would call it.
We could shorten it. We could just use the beginning and call him Dan. Dan. Danger.
Dangerous is actually quite a good name.
She'll have my surname, of course, Erwin.
What did you want her name, actually?
My surname, Erwin. But, well, it's a strange thing. My actual name's... But it's so hard for the common tongue. So I chose Charles Erwin.
Okay.
You non-bird folk can't get the clicks right.
You're right. I can't. Not without snapping a spine. It's like horrible.
Yes, it's a rather, I don't know. Even in bird people circles, it's a rather nerdy name.
Oh, it suits you just perfectly.
Like I said, dusty old cleric.
Just a cleric. I don't know. Actually, are you old?
Oh,
Middle-aged,
Oh.
for my kind.
there's Errol. And there's Gilfy. That'll be good name.
Charlie and his brother.
Errol and Gylfi.
Errol. Errol means a nobleman, and Gylfi means miracle.
Which certainly was a miracle.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I like Gilpy actually. It's quite nice.
Gylfi.
You like Gylfi?
I do
Jackson,
like
what say
Gylfi.
you? Gylfi?
Jareth.
No, Jarrett's a very boyish name.
Jareth.
That's... no. That gives me weird images of... I don't...
Doing Bowie.
bulges. Gylfi. I like Gylfi. Jackson, Gylfi?
If you want to call it that. You want something, if you're training animals, you want something nice and, like, simple.
Oh my gosh, then you can shorten it to Gilf.
Or just G?
No, Gilf.
Gil.
Gilf.
Gil.
Because it sounds like Dilf.
Yes. Wherever you are. Is Gilf grandma?
No.
I don't want to know.
And we lost a player. Bye.
Is Gilf grandma?
Gilly.
I don't want to know.
Gilly. I like Gilly.
Gilly. There you go.
Okay, Gilly. Sit. It doesn't do anything. I'm working on it. Let's see what Charlie's animal handling was to get Gilly to sit.
Sit.
Yeah.
On what? I don't know why I'm not handling it. Actually, not bad.
What are the rest of you doing while you're in this?
Oh, I'm watching this interaction between...
I'm watching our shape-shifting friend make sure it doesn't turn into something like a table or chair or...
Oh yeah, because you've never met him before, so you're just like... "Ooh."
Who's the blue fella? Says Mama.
Isn't he in the other room though, or did he come with
He's
us to
been
this room?
brought through with you to meet the Oost.
An old acquaintance? Oh dear.
At him saying, "Sit, Gilly." Gilly jumps out of the pen and starts running around the kitchen.
Okay.
Come on, try.
Knocking over tables, full
Can
speed.
I tried telling Gilly to sit.
I
Okay.
would try, but I'm going to be hanging off the ceiling in
Yeah,
a second.
yeah.
No, get out of the way.
Jax, please roll an animal handling check.
Owlbear is pretty much the same height as me. He's like,
Yeah.
Even a baby.
There is this
would.
owlbear drives straight forwards to you.
23.
It stops and does that thing when a dog stops on a laminate floor, skids and actually does a 180 and looks directly at you.
And then I'm going to pick up one of the little strips of thingy and give it to him. Pat Gilfy on the head.
And I turn around to Charlie and I'm like, that's how you do it.
You have such a way with Gilly, Jackson.
You like
I think
never
it's the
trained animals
huge voice
before.
and literally the voice of God saying, "Stop." Help.
No, you kind of, we used to train animals. We used to use like sort of big, like sort of huge hulking wolfy things.
It's quite amazing your affinity for the beasts and of burden and all kinds of creatures. Would you like to help training with me? Sorry.
Yeah. I can do that.
Very well.
We can learn stuff about these because I've not really trained these creatures, but I've trained other animals, so
Very
we
well.
can see what we get to.
Mama
and,
Goose opens the side of the pen and says, "Get him back in here. He's been, every time she's out, she's running around the place and doing her
She?
business."
She.
It's
yeah.
a she?
It's a
We
she.
established it was a she with the the reveal, if you remember.
I'm still
Yeah.
real. Pink smoke in the sky.
It was Rita.
Yeah.
Mm.
An eggy
Feathers.
hatched into female owlbear.
Yeah.
It was Feathers that told us that.
Yep, I remember that. I remember now. Yep. Took me a while.
Yeah, I will try and lead her back to her little pen thing.
It does say.
So, could I just ask? So, does Charlie have hands, fingers, or is it like claws,
Yeah, he's got kind of like 3.
like Killian?
Yeah, similar. Yeah.
Okay, so I go over to Erwin and I bend down to Erwin and I go, 5 gold says Charlie loses a finger.
No.
Because it's like watching Charlie try and train this thing, and then Jax is just like, no, this is how you do it.
What are you all in my kitchen for?
I gave him a pastry. He now thinks you're some sort of pastry god. He wanted to meet you.
To be honest,
Try your
Killian
food.
thinks you're a pastry god too.
I don't think I know.
Apologies.
He's doing that thing where he's like leaning, but he's using the bottle as the thing to lean on the table, and the bottle slides and he pulls it back and he's like, you're amazing.
I will
They've
lead.
come to worship at your altar, Mama Ruth.
I will lead
God,
in.
hope that you grant your offerings.
I want to lead in and whisper into Mama Ruth's ear. He's rich.
Rich
Very.
and handsome. Look at the legs on him.
Humans.
Look at the legs on it.
They're on him.
Just.
He's drunk, so he's legless. He's like, ah.
Is this where we're halfway through the evening, we're going to get Erwin up on these legs, sort of tooling around at sort of 5 foot tall.
I totally want to go with these things. They look amazing.
I kind of you remember those jumping legs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like that.
Can you, their own trousers, Gromit. Can you,
A Wallace and Gromit themed episode. Yes, when you get to invent stuff. Okay, so
Completely off topic anyway.
you start. Mama sets to whipping up a supper of sorts. There are cold meats, but then there's some sort of pot on the stove that is barely cooled with some gravies and. Right, Thomas, stop doing that. Thank you. And you're gathered around the table, and there's another a small cask is pulled out of an ale that is available for you to drink.
Oh yeah, what happened to the kids that were in the drawer?
The kids in the drawer. Oh, well, she put them to sleep.
Yeah,
You want to check?
yeah. I just remembered about it.
Stealth check. You don't want to wake them if they're there.
1,000 years later.
Janice, Tasha, and Mikhail.
Yeah. Oh shit. It was 16. Is that 16? That is a 16. 16.
Just towels.
Did I just look at Mama East again?
What?
Kids.
You don't want to hang around here.
Where?
Last time I found them, they built a den in the gardens.
So they're kids.
No, I'm not angry about that fact.
Are they there now?
don't know.
While she's cooking, can I go try and find this den in the garden?
You can go to get a den in the garden if you wish.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else are you guys doing?
Have you sent anything? Is like Lord Levin here, or is he back at his house?
Levin is being kept here. I've served they've served the tables earlier
So
at
is
tea.
he like sort of like recovered and shit?
He's on the mend for sure.
Okay. We should probably check in on him.
Mm-hmm.
And don't worry, we haven't let Ilan near him.
Okay.
Crazy doctor guy with the robot thing.
Oh, from the king. Right, okay. There's so many names. Right.
Ilan Marcel.
Ilan Marcel, that's his name.
Crazy gnomish doctor guy.
How do you do it? Honestly.
I didn't today, I forgot Jim.
I know.
Forgot about Jim. Blue Jim.
What are you doing, man?
And so you enjoy a hearty meal, and Killian is off outside. Anyone following Killian? Anyone want to make an investigation or something? Anyone want to...
Jim.
Yeah.
What's the Southgate thing like? What's been going on up there since last time we met these people?
It's been strange.
Elaborate if you can.
Well, there was a rider sent out to Drosk along the road, past Esteland and up, or towards Esteland and then north to Drosk. We sent word of the bridge attack, and nothing has come back. The gods, I'm in their trust. But that is a strange thing. They're supposed to be the seat of power. They're supposed to be... I know it's a different kingdom and it's a different island and Southgate, and the trade here is worth... untold worth the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
The magical studying that's done at Kakanzak's, and the great trade that we have here from the mainland for fresh green produce. Essential.
You'll have to refresh my memory. How long would it normally take a rider,
To Dross,
a good rider with like horses to spare,
it's
to
about,
normally traverse that time?
for out character, just so it's easy to do. It's about 2 weeks by horse to Esteland, and it's a couple of days travel across the bridge as you've done before. Then you'd have to travel north for approximately, what was it? Just trying to work it out in my head. Probably about 2.5, 3 weeks, like travel, maybe, to get to Drosk. It's quite a way.
So, for a message to get there
So
and
it's,
back,
it's a
2
month,
months.
a month at real fast.
2 months basically.
Yeah.
To get a message there and back would be 2 months.
Yeah.
2 to 3, because it'll be about a month and a half just to get there.
Yeah.
If you say
Oh,
2 to
there
3
and back.
weeks.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be about 3 months.
Yeah.
How long has it been since we...
Where you met the rider.
Yeah.
You met the rider when you met.
Well, we left after we met him at Esteland. We met him on the way from Esteland to
Yeah.
Southgate.
About a few days into your journey, so that'll be
So
nearly a
that
month.
was
Probably.
nowhere near that.
Well, you travel for the week over.
So it was probably had a week there. I reckon it's probably no more than 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I reckon it's probably closer to 2.5.
2.5, 3 weeks.
God would have done all that shit in that time. Bloody hell.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
Bearing in mind, like, sort of, yesterday was about 6 sessions long.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Oh shit, yeah, it was.
but then he says there will be message sent. Tholf has
Didn't like-
received messages, psychic ones from Drosk.
Oh, there's loads, yeah.
He doesn't have the power to send them. He can reply to them, but he
Well,
says he's
Carlos
having one.
gave Serial like a scroll to send messages.
It's literally the spell, the spell send, I think.
Sending, yeah.
Yeah.
We got a scroll of sending, but Serial got it because she was the one that was going to cast it.
Sarah's in the castle.
Is she?
She's to stay with the king.
Oh.
Do you remember?
Oh.
She agreed to stay as a king's advisor, king's helper, before returning home if she chooses to.
Who does Serial know in Drosk? Well, in fact, she knows a couple of people that went to Drosk. She could send a message to Luxeth or Dante, because we'd sent people there way before that.
Yeah, you did. And no reply. To no reply.
Huh.
That's disturbing.
So as you gather round this table with new companions, old friends, old acquaintances,
And a goblin.
and even Blue Jim starts to loosen up to the camaraderie and the plotting and the figuring out.
Abject confusion.
So my question as DM to players is which strand do you want to pick up next? Where do we want to go? Do we want to go and investigate Shardfall, where rumours of pink crystal are? Investigate the cold Raven Clan mysteries that go on with Jackson's clan members and the hero mentioned here.
Do we want to go help Dragon?
Do we want to go and help Recharge?
Um,
Or combine something maybe?
well, Jax would suggest that we have a chat with Levin and the King and Carla. And there's quite an open area of town at the moment where if we maybe set up a trap with some pink crystal shit, we might be able to catch someone.
I agree we should need to talk to Lord Levin, see if he ever heard anything. If he's heard of nothing, that's fine. It could be a really quick conversation. Then I totally believe we should find out where the fire started. Because we might find that there's literally nothing left to set a trap for.
Well,
Because you're, from the few, not getting to almost getting to Erwin, so far you've always informed me that basically they've always destroyed themselves once they've been revealed. Are you suddenly not gone down gently?
no, some of them ran away.
I was going to say,
Some of them ran away.
destroyed themselves, or we've killed them, or they've ran?
Well, someone burnt a chunk of the Underedge down. I would like to at least find out where the fire started.
The reason I was thinking of that is if we set that as the trap area, it's going to be sort of empty.
You don't know that, but we got to look.
Oh, yes, but it's emptier because the King's been putting people up in he's been making like sort of temporary housing in the palace ground.
Mm-hmm.
So, like the people that were there aren't there because some of them burnt in the fire and some of them are in the palace grounds in the sort of temporary housing.
Mm-hmm.
Jackson, who here Are you just trying to kind of pull the worms out of the woodwork?
Yeah. I want to go fishing. I want to go and set a trap and grab one of these guys, and then we can like knock them out, and then grab them, and then we can bring them back here, and then we can question them, and we might find out more what's going on.
What we should have done.
Unless we find some form of leader, we're just going to get the minions. And they probably know about as much as we do.
But they know who the boss is, and they can tell us who the boss is, and then we go fishing for the boss.
Hmm.
When you catch a little fish, and then you put that on your hook, and you catch a bigger fish with a little fish.
Yeah, that only works as long as the little fish is appetizing to the bigger fish. Sometimes they go, whoops, well, that's a little fish caught. I'm not poo-pooing your idea. I just feel like we can just do a solid look first before setting any traps. I think over-planning before we have any information doesn't help us. Let's just find Lord Leven, ask him what he's overheard. He might be able to help out there. If he heard enough information to formulate a fishing trip, great. And then we go to the Underet to see where the fire started. Find out where that temple was. If there was a temple there at all. Like I said, we don't know what was there. It's quite possible that the fire was normal, just a toxic wasteland. Bad timing.
Is all days part of the Underedge, or is it not in the Underedge? Because that was somewhere else.
Slightly more upper market all days. But
I thought we were told that the temple.
Oh, sorry, all days. So I'm thinking of the other. Julian, sorry. All days would be. It's one of those places that is in the dirtier district, the Underetch, but higher class people go to visit for the services they provide.
Oh, wow.
Normally in an unmarked carriage with heavy cloaks over their head, so people don't realise that
I thought they were,
Lord is going slumming.
Was that not Lower Cross? That was the big crossroads, or is that part of the Underedge?
Lower Cross is before that. You got Lower Cross, and then you got the exits off. One of them's to Julian's. One of them takes you to the Painted Lady.
I was thinking more when we talked to the King in Carlath, we turn up to all days with like 30 guards. I don't care how many heavies he's got, we just turn up with them and then we go in and search the place.
Destroy!
I have no problem going in mob-handed. It will probably help.
Because, like, didn't someone tell us it was in the underneath it?
No.
I'm pretty sure we were told the temple was underneath all days.
Did they?
Yeah.
You got told that there was passages and stuff beneath.
Yeah, that's not the same thing. Okay. Sure. Going mob-handed. That'd be cool. I mean, even if you just say the guards just keep people out of our way while we find secret passages.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have locks, and they're going to be hidden.
Yeah.
You can't pull the place down just in case this place isn't involved. It's a possibility. Tiny possibility, but it's a possibility.
We also find out if your white bird's still alive or not.
Yeah, but not more.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that guy.
I haven't.
You left him. He's still body, unconscious.
Oh yeah, but we stole his amulet.
Light up. Yeah, he's almost definitely dead because, like,
Working intonations are big.
yeah,
we were choking and coughing. We were running.
he might have got lucky and a bit of the roof fell on his head.
Almost
Oh, great. Fantastic.
definitely dead. Almost definitely.
I don't
Hey,
like that almost.
But this is a magical round, and he's a bad guy, so he'll turn up like sort of
Scarred.
6 months down the line as a zombie sort of
Yeah.
knight, whatever.
See,
To-
I
to
don't,
fuck
I don't
with our
like the
plan.
sound of that almost that you said.
You left him there. You forgot to
We
pick up your
forgot.
package.
We were in a little bit of a hurry.
Yeah,
Things
you
were
were,
falling
yeah.
on our heads.
Yeah. Yeah, I was making it so that you were panicking, like running.
Yes.
Yeah.
No shit.
So-
Too
so-
much time.
Next session, head into 11 and then an investigation of the Underetch. Is that right?
The cross and the all days. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Head into all days and
Did I
Underetch.
find the kids in the den out in the garden? Just quickly.
Okay, go out and make a perception check and see if you can find them. See if they're.
Yeah. I do want to find out where the centre of the fire was because it's a good clue. It's a good start.
Yeah.
Uh,
We can also investigate some of the locals and say
No.
what was there. If it was just a warehouse, we can find out what it was.
You walk out into that garden and you see that area of constant like sunshine that exists
yeah.
near the fountains. That's in the centre, an area of greenery, and all the kind of evergreen shrubbery that kind of lines the paths.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you feel something grab the end of your tail.
That's one of those little shits, isn't it?
Hey, Dragonborn!
Yeah. I lift my tail up, like a little bit.
I see the goblin one is on the end of the tail.
Turn round and just pick the little goblin up. I'm like,
To lift, turn. Hello.
Aye! Big eyes, great
And
big ears.
I imagine
grin.
it's like this against
Yeah,
my
the
snout.
nose
I'm
is like
like,
that, and it's just like, yeah. These great big eyes, like blinking at you.
They are armed now, by the way, just as a warning.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, yeah.
I'm just looking at it and I'm like, where's the den?
Secret.
Where's the den?
Why?
I want to see it!
Why? You're gonna take it down.
I want to sit in it.
Sit in it? You're massive!
I want to sit in it and eat pastries.
Toast pastries?
Yep.
He looks over at Bush and whispers down, do you think we could build an extension?
Indeed.
Yeah! Comes another voice. This way then.
Whose pastries? they'll build your palace.
And they, it leads you to this like little corner.
Oh, I don't put him down, I literally turn him around.
But he walks like in the air, like he's leading you, like the head of a marching band. But his feet aren't on the floor. He just points and kind of like directs you round, and you find this little corner. And there's a big evergreen tree that is like planted in the corner of a wall section next to one of the palisades that goes up. Doesn't reach anywhere near the top, but up behind this there is a collection of old rakes and broken things, and there's drapes pulled over it.
Huh?
You could fit.
It is quite small. It is built for children.
But what can you do?
You can do magic.
Yeah, I can. Could I make it? I can make it bigger.
You can make it bigger or you smaller.
Oh, I can make it bigger.
I think it's one object. This is made of multiple objects.
You'll be better off making yourself smaller, but I like the
Yeah,
concept
but if
of it.
it's built into a den, then the den is one.
We're going to make the den as no. I think it officially is one object. Unfortunately,
Damn you.
It's just a giant kid's den the size of a house.
close to the
So
palace.
his window is basically the top of a tree going, I don't remember it being that big.
Yeah, so I would like to.
Also, if this den is like leaning on the tree and partially burnt, the den gets bigger and then basically collapses.
tree.
Yeah,
tree
I
didn't
wanna,
grow.
I wanna make myself.
You're never attached.
You're going to reduce your size.
Yeah.
So they go, here. Like, and the little goblin's like, presents it like, here it is. And then what do you do? Do you reduce while you're holding the goblin? And like, or
No, I put him down and like walk around it to see if I could possibly fit in it.
not at your
And
current
then
size, no.
I just go no, and I cast reduce on myself and
Yep.
make myself half my size.
Whoa! 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 And then there's a goblin, like, he can, like, now reach up and about, like, touch, like, your midriff. He's like, oh, whoa! That's awesome! Come on in! Let me show you around!
Oh wait, before I do the reduce thing,
Yeah, I wasn't expecting this.
I take the pastries out my pocket and then reduce down so the pastries are the same size, but I'm just smaller.
Nice.
Suddenly realising I need to do this more often. Why?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Because they're not like regular size pastries.
They're
She
big.
makes them for Killian,
Yeah, yeah.
so they're big.
So, yeah, in
So
with
when
an
I
armful
reduce
of-
myself, I'm like one croissant's like this.
Yeah. You go in, giant croissants, and you gather round.
Just the one, just enough, just slice
They-
it like bread.
They set up a nice little oil lantern in the middle, and you're all gathered round, and you're all just they're quietly looking at you, just in awe, like.
You are the patron saint of these kids. Well done.
Thanks for, thanks for doing all saving and stuff.
Yeah, don't tell Mama.
Mikhail's like really happy that he's not dead or inside a jar.
Yeah, I think Charles is too.
Yeah.
But don't tell Mama.
Don't tell Mum what.
Good.
What? Just in case it slips out. Tell me what I'm not supposed to say.
That I made myself smaller to come and hide in the den with you guys.
Why?
Oh, stop it.
Because she'll tell me I do.
Oh, I don't want to get you in trouble. I bet she's scary when she's mad.
I don't know. I haven't made her angry yet. I want to keep it that way.
No. She was a little frustrated when she found the first den.
And where was the first bed?
Yeah, with the other tree. We'd used one of her best cloths.
I think that's what annoyed her most.
Oh yeah, she told us as much. They're just staring at you in absolute awe.
Everyone else sort of feel the universe shift slightly weirdly that Killian turned down food.
I know. Yeah.
It's the fact that Killian's watching this kid eat it, and there's like slobber on it, and he's like,
Yeah, there's a rubbery goblin lips.
Goblins have cooties, obviously.
it's like, nah.
And we're proud of it.
Is there anything you'd like to ask these kids?
So, there was until you asked me that question. I don't know. My brain isn't functioning.
Well, think where the kids have been,
In the
where they
tunnel.
live, in the tunnel.
They live in the castle? Do they live in the castle now? I don't know.
They've been welcomed into the castle
Ah.
at the moment, but they lived in the Underedge,
Oh.
and they travelled through the tunnels where you found them.
Yeah, we kind of want to ask them how they got through, where they came from, blah 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 blah. blah.
Yeah.
They know a lot.
And I just turn and face them.
Oh, he's going to do another magic. Watch.
No magic.
Please.
If you answer my questions, Then possibly.
Okay, I'm all ears. The goblin ears go.
Right. Why were you in the tunnels?
I told ya. I got told you could get through.
Who told you?
It's just one of those street rumours.
So you weren't told you could get through. You just heard it.
Heard it around the place, yeah.
Right. Where do you live? Where did you live?
Under Etch.
Where do you live now?
I don't know. Guess here.
Whereabouts in Underatch?
One of the other orphanages. One of the orphanages.
Orphanages.
Orphanages. It's a bit like an orphanage.
Orphanages.
That's for oranges.
Orphanages for oranges.
An orphanage for oranges.
Okay.
No, I don't know. They're at an orphanage.
Okay. It was supposed to be orphanages. I was like, orphanages? Okay. What did you, apart from the big thing that ate your friend,
Yeah.
did you see anything else in the tunnels?
It was this circle thing. What, that had like wiggly lines all over it. A round thing. That looked expensive.
And the globe? Is that what they're on about?
You'd think that you'd be describing the guy, yeah.
Oh damn it, we didn't go back and get that either.
It would look like it moved, but I couldn't get it to go.
No, you opened it up and it had weird turny things in it.
Oh, you had to go on it. Was it good?
Yeah. It's okay.
There was those horrible folks that were going round. They were like the Dove's Guard or whatever. They were horrible. They smelt funny. They belched. They weren't like the drow that I've met.
They were half orcs. Half orcs? Orcs.
It's full of
They were full of.
full-blooded
Full
orcs.
There you go.
Orcs. They look like drow.
Yeah, they had a magic thing on them that made them look like something else. It's a long story. Anyway,
You've got one.
you were?
You've got one.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not showing the kids it.
Why not?
I've just about got their attention. Showing something like that, their attention span's going to go,
Yeah.
wow! Yeah, I ain't dealing with that.
You're gradually running out of attention span because the pastries are decreasing in size. You reach your pocket, you're out of pastries. You've got to ask your questions quick.
So, right, so what? What else is a good question to ask?
I don't know. What do you think then?
What else is a good question to ask them?
I really don't know.
Well, are we finishing soon?
Yeah.
How about we ping some thoughts on the channel while over the course of the week, if anyone thinks of anything.
Yeah.
And you can continue interrogation of the children's. Yeah, well, you can ask them. You can ask. You've got lots of people to ask questions that have been in the tunnels. Remember, you got Levin.
Yeah,
You got the kids.
yeah,
They both might have overheard things.
yeah.
I was hoping to. Yeah.
Well, I was also going to suggest that we brought Jim along because he does that weird mind reading shit.
Oh shit, yeah, he does.
Well, that's kind of handy.
If you can trust Jim.
Yeah.
Hey, we plotted treason with Jim. I'm pretty sure we trust him.
What's Jim's motivation?
Well, that's a conversation for another time. Oh, you trust him? I can trust you. We plotted treason with him. What? I'm suddenly not with you anymore. Bye.
We had a big, long, in-depth discussion about setting up Jim as a fake prince and getting Carlat and all the guards.
Shut up. what I want is for Erwin to nail your guys' feet to the floor for about half an hour just to go through everything.
So let's start from the beginning. Well, there was this boat.
And it's
No,
Zach.
no, excellent, brilliant. Start there. Carry on.
And then we met a dragon that we ignored.
We didn't ignore.
Twice?
We said we'd go back. We haven't been back yet.
Yeah, it's like I think it's kind of we're investigating the moor, and all I know about is the stuff from Modern Cell, which is apparently not much. And he goes, "Where do you want to go next?" I'm thinking, I have no idea. I don't know what happened before. I've got no clues. It's like, it's Jim. Hi, Jim. How are you? I'm fine. Okay.
Yay!
And before then,
Problem is, if you
before
ask
then,
Jack, there's going to be a very
person goes hi, and then Jackie just whips out a sword. Like, okay.
Problem is, if you ask Jax what's going on, there's going to be a very sort of Jax-oriented, slanted view of
Please
what
do.
is actually
There has
going
to
on.
be, totally. I want the Killian version, the Charles version, the Jax version. I just want all three versions. I can mold something together from that.
Well, there's this time we were on a boat and then, I don't know, we broke free and Killian rather suited the captain's jacket and kept a pet mimic for some time. And
Yeah. So when our fine and fearless GM goes, "What's your plan?" I can go, "Well, we probably need to do all of this." Because right now it's like, what do you want to do? Not have a headache? Yeah, like I just want to find out what happened to the underage because that's the only thing I know.
you want to find how deep this moor thing goes. I think
Yeah.
Quite deep, apparently.
very deep.
Well, are there similarity between the different areas? Are there things that we're missing? Are there clues that we are missing? If we come together and think about it, can we find links to it?
You would
To
find
investigate anything, you need to find structure. You need to find where it all moves
anytime
to.
that you've come across crystals,
Shit gone down.
shit has gone down to do
Yeah.
with stuff.
But we didn't find any in the underwater place.
No. What you did find was an army massing.
Yes. And then we kicked the hornets there, stirred them up, and then let them go stomping across East Haven.
Oh, but was there any crystals?
Wait. Did you just say, oh yeah, then we set the army off on somebody else? It's not our problem anymore.
No. We thought we killed everyone, and we didn't. And like they had a big army that turned up and went back to the town that we were based out of, that we were getting rid of. Basically, the town had a nice little tribute thing going on with these people, and we fucked it up and said we'll deal with it if you just pay us. And we went in and we killed everyone we found, and then came back. And apparently, we missed a lot of them, and they turned up into town while we weren't there.
Oh, well, oops.
That's when Dan got killed.
Yeah. Cornish Daniel.
Like literally, about sort of 2/3 of the town either burned or died or was massacred.
Yeah.
And
It was a
So- Yeah, so it's a question, isn't it? Like, how did you miss an army?
Do you
they
want
were
me to tell
underwater.
you exactly how you missed the army?
They were fish people, and we
Yeah.
stayed in the tunnels that had air in.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Okay, yeah, fair.
We did buy a load of water breathing potions so we could go back and finish the job, but it kind of got away from us, and we had to chase after them and like. But it's all right because I used one of mine and went and swam through an area water elemental.
It's a dog, yes.
Oh, he's stopped now, isn't
He
he?
was having the most epic dream.
Yeah, his tail was just going mental. Oh.
Oh, little wiggle.
He was actually running with his back leg.
He's never done that before. That was so cute. Oh, no.
Oh,
Good.
Hello.
Sorry, motion sickness.
Thing lights of doom.
But yeah, I mean, we can use the channel and like sort of Or we can make a secret channel so Pete doesn't know what we're discussing.
Yeah, that'll make
Yeah.
it more surprising. For me.
Well, guess what? I'm on Discord now.
You can actually make a
Oh.
server.
Yeah, I'm actually on Discord now because
Build a
this phone
server.
has enough storage capacity.
You can make
John's the expert on Discord servers.
Do we have a Discord server for Fragments?
No, it's not
No.
been made.
Because
I think he was hoping that you were going to make one.
I can make one.
I can make one.
We-
That's fine. Yeah,
we
yeah.
don't have one because
Do
I
WhatsApp,
couldn't
don't we?
have Discord.
You've got
on
your
my
new phone that you haven't broken yet.
No.
It's huge as well.
It is huge. Every dimension.
It is a brick. Pete's mum said I could get arrested for carrying a
dangerous
weapon.
Anyway, I'll end this. We'll probably end the session a long time ago. We're babbling about
Yeah.
other stuff now. But thank you for playing, everyone. And yeah, sleep well.
Cool.
And yeah, we got cake baking to do tomorrow. So
Yes, we do.
for